We are now on.
Hey, friends. Doug, I can't find it. Oh, here it is. Found it. Woohoo! So, do y'all ever drop something and then can't find it? You have no idea where it went? That's what was happening to me. Hi, everybody. I'm waiting on Doug to hand me that and the card holder. I'll tell him where it is. It's over where, at the end. Yes. You see it under my business cards. It's a business card holder. Yeah, there you go. That'll do it. I tried to wear, if anybody's joining me, hey everybody, when you arrive, say I'm here, and tell me where you're from. I tried to wear a shirt that would match my quilt in the background. Not really. I'm just teasing. But everybody's joining in. I'm so glad.
Beth is from Illinois.
Hey, Beth. Hey, Ann. Hey, Catherine. Catherine, are you feeling better? Y'all, Catherine's one I've been praying for. She's been sick. She's been really, really sick. COVID got her, and she had pneumonia and all kinds of stuff. And Janice is here from Oklahoma. Janice and I have a mutual friend that lives here. Who knew? Y'all, it's a small world out there. It's just a small world out there. But I'm so glad you're here. Who else is here? When you arrive, pop in and say, hey, Pam. Pam is here. Pam is also from Oklahoma. Glad you're here. Beth is from Illinois. Were we in Illinois or were we in Indiana?
Illinois.
We were in Illinois. I'm so...
South of Chicago.
Yes, we were in Illinois this last summer, and that was a beautiful trip. Man, we had a good time. Okay, so check in when you arrive, so I will know who all's here, and I can give you a shout-out. Oh, no, Catherine is still sick with pneumonia and on oxygen, but she thinks she's improving. Okay, sweet friend, I've prayed for you already today. And we will continue to hold you in our prayers. We don't want you to be sick. We want you to get well. We want full healing and restoration of your health. And anybody else that's feeling bad, we want you to have the same things. Thank you for joining. We'll go ahead and get started. Like I said, I did pray for everybody today. I always pray for the whole group. And I hope that you are blessed and have had a marvelous, marvelous Monday. What you are seeing, but I look in this little camera picture, and I see the quilt behind me, and then I see the shirt I have on. I guess I'm into the spring light colors or something, because I kind of look like I blend in. I blend into my quilt, which is kind of odd. I didn't plan it that way. It just happened. But when y'all had if you had little children, did you ever dress them exactly like you dressed? And you walk out of the house and go, oh my gosh, we're twins. I did that all the time without even realizing I was doing it. So it's not surprising that I have on the same kind of tones as is in the quilt. Let me show you this quilt. Now the only thing about it is I have not gotten the binding on it yet. So bear with me as you see it, because I'm not afraid to show you my unbound quilt. This is called True Lover's Knot. It is a very, very old pattern. I've shown this, I think before I got it quilted, I showed it one time. Back in the olden days, when they made this quilt, and they would hand cut out all the pieces of the pattern, they would cut this section, this was a curved piecing. So they'd cut this and this by hand, and then put the corners on it. So tonight, I'll show you the block. I'll use this one. I have to do it right here. Here's the block. So when I saw that block, I was just very intrigued. It was on a Quilting Vintage. So if you're into vintage linens or vintage quilts or that sort of thing, there is a Facebook group that Kelly Klein, who's a friend of mine after all these years of being on the same page together, Kelly's in Kansas, but she has a group on Facebook called Quilting Vintage. And anybody who comes along and has, like vintage stuff, finds, or, like they'll find an unquilted vintage quilt or whatever, they'll show pictures of it. Look what I found. And so I'm always intrigued by that. And so one day I saw a quilt. It had to have been probably from the 30s or 40s. I mean, it was really an old top that somebody had found, and they made it, and they posted it. Well, I had never seen it. I had never seen it at all, and I was really intrigued, but I don't want to do it the hard way, because getting this shape cut out, especially with scissors, you know how they had to use cardboard. They would cut this out, and then they would curve and piece all that together. I immediately decided that shape, this orange peel shape, I could simplify that whole process. And so that's what we're going to do tonight. I'm going to show you how to make the block. It is so easy and so fast, you're going to be amazed. So it's super simple and super quick, so we will do that. Hey, my more friends are coming in. Tawny is here and Linda's here. Aw, Tawny is from Arizona. Linda, I know where you're from, but I can't think of it. So I would shout that out, but I don't remember. Okay, so tonight what we're going to do is we're going to talk about this block. But let me show you the whole thing. Here's the quilt. Can you still see me on camera?
Yes.
Okay. So what I did was I bought a charm pack and a jelly roll to make this quilt. As a result, I didn't have enough really for a good border, and then when I tried the border, I didn't like it. So with what I had left over, so I used a jelly roll and a charm pack of the brights, and then I used white. Just this is a tone on tone. It's a little flower. It's called Posy. I used a tone on tone for the window and then for the borders. So I put a 2-inch border on it, and then decided that I'd put a colorful border on it with my scraps. So that's what I didn't like. So then outside of that, I put another 5-inch border. So, but that's what happens in my design process. Oh yeah, Linda's from Pittsburgh, Kansas. That's right. I knew she was up north. Y'all, we've had beautiful weather here this week. Just saying, it is lovely. We are having spring. So that's why I'm kind of into these colors. So anyway, white, this is a tone on tone. You can use anything you want to. And then the block. I don't have the pattern finished, but I'm going to show you how to do the block. And then once I have the pattern finished, I'll get it tested, and then I will have it printed up, and we can sell that. So let me show you. Let me move on. There's a couple of different ways you can do it. Let me tell you the background. So when I saw this quilt for the very first time, it was like 30s and 40s, and every single block had a different fabric, much like this one. So it was very, very scrappy. And if I move out of the way, you can see there are 6 blocks on each row, and I did 7 rows. So that's 42. So I had enough of my charms to do the center and then jelly roll around it. Okay, so there's another way you can do it, and y'all may have seen this before. And so when I decided to try to reinvent this block, I grabbed scraps, because that's the way my brain works, right? I don't want to make a whole quilt. I'm not committing to that. I want to see if I can figure out a way to make this without making a whole quilt. So as a consequence, I have a lot of 1 block, 2 block kind of things. And that sounded a whole lot like Dr. Seuss, didn't it? 1 block, 2 block, red block, 2 blue block. Okay, so this is one of them that I've done that's the same block, and it was my first attempt. But on this one, I used 2 fabrics, but look how different this looks. I guess you can see over my shoulder the one in the background. This one looks so just like very, very different than the one in the background, and it's because of the colors. Now, if I was going to do this quilt, I don't have enough fabric, and this is like just fabric out of my stash. But if I was going to do this, it would be very, very graphic. And it would be very, bold and dynamic because of the colors, because of the... But I love it. I wish I did have enough fabric to do this whole quilt. But you can see what it would do. The corners, do you see how the corners would alternate? This would be dark and this would be light. And so it would be contrasting. That's what I love most about this, is the diagonal, what's it called? Like a ladder kind of thing. So that was using two colors. This one is using the charm, the charm and the jelly that match, and then a contrasting white. But I've been wanting, Doug's favorite color is blue, and I've been wanting a blue and white quilt. So this is going to be much more, you see the difference between the dynamic, the black and the white with some pattern, versus how soft this is going to be. So this is going to be blue and white only. So I'm not going to have like the whole jelly roll and charm pack here. So tonight, what we are going to do together is I'm going to show you how to make the fourth block in this series that'll go right here, and it'll be this white one. Does that make sense? And then the whole quilt will be blue and white. I've wanted a blue and white quilt for a long, long time. And every time I see anyone's collection of blue and white, I get super excited about it. They just make my heart happy. And so I decided it's time. I'll show you when I start my blue and white one. Okay. Is that a good spot for it? Can you see it? Okay, good. All right, so let me tell you how easy this is. I keep stubbing my toe. You can buy a charm pack, or today I cut yardage, just 5 inches with the fabric. This will be the center. I'm working on this block right here, and I'm going to make the center, so it's 5 inches by 5 inches. So I would just cut a 5 inch by 5 inch. And then the next thing I will do when, of course, now I'm going to show you how to cut out the center, the orange peel. I'm going to show you that process here in just a minute. But to put the whole thing together, you need a 2.5 inch strip, which is why I use the jelly roll. And you need 5 inch lengths to go here. See that? And then I cut a 7 inch length by 2.5 inches wide, and then a 2.5 inch square in the contrasting color. And believe it or not, it all fits together when it comes together. But that's 2.5 inches, and this is by 2.5 inches, and this is 2.5 inches by 7. So these are all the pieces there are. So jelly roll, jelly roll, jelly roll, jelly roll, and then these are on, if you're going to use a jelly roll. Or, so I'll have all this, or you can to get the dimensions and all that of these little pieces. I will show you that when I get my pattern together. Okay, so the way we're going to do this is the center. I'm looking for my tool. So here's the tool. Here's the cover of the tool. Here's the tool itself. Now, one of the things that you're going to find on this is I had a film put on the back that is sort of a non-sliding thing. So for this quilt, we're going to use just the small tool. The small window. Okay? And if you ever want one of these, let me know. I can send it to you. And instructions are on the back of the cover. So the way this works is we're going to work diagonally. Right? This is a 5 inch square. Do you see how I've already folded this in half and ironed it? I create an ironed fold right there so I can see it. Now I'm going to work on my back, and I'm going to try to do it where you can see it. And then what I need is a 1/2 inch. I'm sorry, 3/4 inch. Let me start again. See this point and this point, they go on the line. But what we're trying to do now is determine how close to the edge. And that's going to be 3/4 inch from this edge and 3/4 inch from this edge. And let me tell you how precise I get. I have figured out that if I put my feet, I'm not kidding y'all, this is exactly the way I do it. It's 3/4 inch, but if I put my finger there, I can see only the tip, and I know that it's centered this way. So all I have to do, isn't that ridiculous? Who needs a stinking ruler when you've got your fingers that are just perfect? I mean, once you figure it out, you do that over and over again, right? So I draw my shape. Now what's going to happen is I'm sorry, I have to move this. It is really giving me fits. Okay, so what I have to do is I have to cut to the inside. Always cut to the center. This is never your cut line. That is your fold line. Okay, so I'm using the smallest little rotary tool. I am working from the back. You do not have to, but I often do. And so I just cut that out. Now, do you see? I'm not sure how the camera looks, but do you see my black line there? That's because I need to snip to that line. Couple little tricks. If I leave it laying down, I can go so much faster. And if I flip it this way, so all of my reverse applique works the same way. You cut a hole. After the hole is cut, you snip it and fold it back. Now, I want to protect my cutting board, although I need a new one. So I'm going to put this on here for a few minutes. Now, I've shown y'all this before. I use this glue or whatever glue I happen to have. I'm not particular. This is the Elmer's washable school glue. It feels like you're putting lipstick on. I fold the corner back first. The corner back. That sounds like a football term, doesn't it? Okay, do you see what I'm doing? I'm just laying that, finger pressing that down. Then I'm always working this way. I've just found, you can do it however you want to. There are no rules. But I love, in fact, in my career, I got certified in performance improvement stuff because I love finding faster, better ways to do stuff. Okay, so now I have it folded back, and I always do this. I always hit this with an iron. So a couple reasons. One is when the glue melts, hi Mindy, hi Mike. When the glue melts and disperses, my iron wasn't quite warm. The glue disperses, then it doesn't gum up your needle when you start sewing. Okay, see there? A perfect little window. See? Perfect. So I have to fill the window. Well, I'm going to use the same fabric that is in the upright, so I'm using the blue. So I'm taking another 5-inch square. Now, y'all, I could have cut these specialty cuts, but I have found that it's easier to do it this way. So I'll be careful about not getting glue on my mat. I hit this with glue. I put it on my window fabric. Finger press it. Hit it with an iron. Again, to melt that glue. But the other thing I've learned is you've just taken a lot of the structure out of this 5-inch square, and the glue melted with it holding together. It keeps it from, it's on a bias cut, so it keeps it strong and sturdy. Now we have all this extra fabric back there, but that doesn't bother me a bit. What I do now is I go to the sewing machine, or I would go to the sewing machine, and I would stitch. Here's my needle. I'll start here, and I stitch that close, just as close as I can to the edge. Let's see if you can see. Do you see how I top stitched? Got it? So I've just stitched. That's a top stitch. I do it in matching thread, and it just disappears. Now, if people start looking for it, of course they're going to see it. But people don't. Non-quilters especially don't see it. Okay, so I'm going to turn this. Okay. So now I top stitch that. Once I have top stitched that, which I have not done, but I'm going to pretend like I have, because I'm good at pretending. Then I come in with my little scissors, and I pull this white part up, and I just snip all this off. It doesn't take very long at all. At one point, I was pretty brave about holding that down and cutting along that folded back section. So either way, right? Doesn't bother me. Now see right here where it's off the edge? I definitely would need to trim that, because that's the only thing you don't want is that other fabric back there hiding, peeping out. Okay? Alright, friends, so here's my center. Super quick, super easy, super fast. This quilt, how many did I say? This one has 42. So what I would, if I was going to do this exact same quilt, I would do half of the 42 this way. So I do 21 this way, and then I would do 21 with the blue background and the white window. And I just, chain stitch all of those and cut them at the same time. So now once this is ready, this is where I immediately put my 5-inch pieces. I stitch down here, and I put those on the side. This is important. Your angle is important. Your square, look at that little hair. Your square right here is going to be, you see where the point is? The point is going to be pointing to the color. So on this one, even though it's not sewn together, we'll put it like this. You see the point is going to be pointing to the color. And all of this is just a surround. See that? You repeat until you have what you want. So now think about this. I'll put this down here. Okay. If you wanted to make a baby quilt doing this, regardless of your colors, right? So if you use lots of colors or you use 2 colors, you could do a 3x3 or a 4x4, so you could make 16 blocks. That's easily done in an afternoon, like a Saturday afternoon or something. You could easily get 12 or 16 of these blocks done. And y'all know that I sit and not at night, when I have like 16 blocks to do, I'll sit and do, when we're watching TV at the end of the day, I'll sit and do all this as handwork and have it ready just to stitch up the next morning. Now, do you see how I laid that wrong? I always want my points to go out. Okay. Questions. Does anybody have any questions about how to do that one? All right. Might be pretty short tonight, huh? Okay. Let me see if there's anything else. Oh, yes, there is. Right here. So, I don't know how I skipped this, but the last few weeks, or maybe in the beginning, since the beginning of the year, I haven't been doing a giveaway. And I bought a bolt of fabric for some children's quilts that I was making, and I came across them, or I took them with me the other night to a meeting, and when we got home, I was beginning to put them away, at the house. And today I thought, I can just give one of these panels away. So let me show you this panel. It is 36 inches wide, which is really big for a panel. It looks super cute with a border, just a border or not. I've done it both ways. I've seen it done both ways. Or you can take it apart and sash it however you want to. I guess I should do this. So it's a little farmyard and farm animal scene. And if you're interested in winning this, all you have to do is comment that you would like to win. So put something like, I'd like to win, or I don't know, just make a comment. And then tomorrow I will go through the comments. And thank you, Beth. Hey, how are you? If you're interested in winning this, it's going to be free, and I'll ship it to you. And then tomorrow I'll go through all the, if you'd like to win, say, I want to win, or something like that. So I will know that you're interested in that little panel. So that's good.
Beth says pick me.
That's a good one. Beth says pick me. That's a real good way for me to know that you're interested. I love it. Okay, I guess that was pretty short. So, I thought, y'all know this is the part of the Monday Night Live when, I call it Monday Night Live. It's Marvelous Monday. When I read something I've written in my journal, kind of a devotional, and I'm going to do that now. And, good, Catherine would love to win too. So I'm going to read you one that I wrote. In fact, I wrote it today. I just thought it was apropos for today. So, 1 year ago today, the Lord spoke to me in our Sunday school class. I call it Sunday school. Most people don't, but I do. He spoke in my ear, and I wrote it down immediately. He told me to begin a weekly prayer call on Tuesday afternoons at 3:30 via conference call to pray for our nation. Little did we know that we would still be praying together a year later. 1 year ago today, Vicky, my friend, found the service and signed us up. We've met via phone and prayed together for 52 weeks now. 1 year ago today, I was finishing my final preparations to go to the Dallas Quilt Show. We were vendors, and I had most everything ready. I was just into the packing, making sure excited to be showing our newest tools at the time. So we went to the show. We went to Dallas to the show on Thursday. Drove from Tyler, which is a little over 2 hours. Had to make a couple of stops on the way. We unloaded, unloaded from the car, and went, put down floors and walls and hung quilts and put tables and had products. And hours later, it's a lot of work, hours and hours later, we headed to the hotel. And by 7 a.m. the next morning, I didn't know it, but my husband is up early. The Dallas Emergency Management Group had declared a state of emergency because of COVID, and they canceled our event. So we went right back over to Market Hall, checked out the hotel, went back to Market Hall, and did everything we had just done. We repacked all of our stuff and headed home. Well, that was Friday the 13th last year. Little did we know. Little did we know that we were at the beginning of many things and at the end of many things, all at the same time. But isn't that the way life works? Little did we know. Parenting is the same way, right? Little did we know. But we learn. Aging. That happens too. Kids cannot wait to be big. Teens cannot wait to be grown. Little did we know how our bodies would age and change and grow and then begin fading. It just seems that at the beginning of something new like COVID or even Snowvid, we hustle to figure it out. We work to find our way through it. But isn't that weird? We just adjust and realign to fit the circumstance, and we learn. Little did we know at the beginning of COVID that I would laugh more in the 12 months since than I had in a very long time. That's what's weird. I've learned so much about dark times and the deep, deep need we have for laughter. I'm so happy. It's the best. Little did I know at the beginning that I would have grieved the losses in a whole new way. That adding a whole new dimension to the process of grieving. Loss of life, loss of health, loss of way of life, loss of rings, hugs, and family. I've learned how to love and care from exile. Little did I know the Lord would prompt me to start Marvelous Mondays. Little did I know He would have me write devotionals every day. I hope that it encourages you if you read it. I've learned a lot about doing it, and I've learned a lot about Monday Night Live and Marvelous Monday, I guess I should say. Little did I know how much fear would soak into the hearts of people I know and people I love, and how fear has enveloped the heart of our nation. But what I now know is stronger than ever. The Lord God Almighty is faithful, He is unchanging, and He is a fountain of life. I'm going to read part of Psalm 36 to close. I have a message from God in my heart concerning the sinfulness of the wicked. There is no fear of God before their eyes. In their own eyes, they flatter themselves too much to detect or hate their sin. The words of their mouths are wicked and deceitful, and they fail to act wisely or do good. Even on their beds they plot evil. They commit themselves to a sinful course and do not reject what is wrong. Your love, Lord, reaches to the heavens, your faithfulness to the skies. Your righteousness is like the highest mountains, and your justice like the great deep. You, Lord, preserve both people and animals in the shadow of your wings, and they feast on the abundance of your house. You give them drink from your river of delights, for with you is the fountain of life. For in your light we see light. Lord, continue to love those who know you, your righteousness to the upright in heart. May the foot of the proud not come against me, nor the hand of the wicked drive me away. See how the evildoers lie fallen, thrown down, and unable to rise. I just think He's faithful. So thank you for listening. To end, I'm going to end on a happy note. I'm going to tell you that I've collected memes for the whole year on my phone. And so it just kind of, to lighten things up a little bit, I'm going to read you some of the memes that I've collected since this time last year. I'm fat, but I did, so I am trans slender. So if you ever want to call me something, call me trans slender. Welcome to Texas in March. Winter is at 6 a.m. Spring starts at 10 a.m. Summer is at 2. Fall's around 4:30. So try and dress accordingly. And then, in case, this was last year, I saved some of these. In case you lost track, today felt like the longest month ever, did it not? Okay, here's another one. Does anyone know how long toilet lasts if you freeze it? Oh my gosh. The toilet paper shortage. Do y'all remember that? It was just terrible. Here's one. A mom put, I just asked a 6-year-old if he understands why there's no school. He said yes, because they're out of toilet paper. I love that. Okay, last year they put, I just got gas for $1.59. I'm not going to tell you guys where, because I see how y'all did the toilet paper. And here we are again. Okay, here's, you know those, is it Chick-fil-A? Yeah, it's Chick-fil-A cows that write on the signs. Here's one that says, eat fewer bats. I'm sorry, but I think that's hilarious. Okay, here's another one. Ladies, check on your sister-in-laws. They are stuck at home with your brothers. They are not okay. That's my sister-in-law's favorite one. Okay. I promised myself I'd do things differently today, so I'm sitting at the other end of the sofa. Julyed. July. We'll have enough to last till the end of time, and the wives in 2020. Who's crazy now? That's the way we feel about fabric. A picture of Forrest Gump, and it says, and just like that, my pastor is a televangelist. Oh my goodness, y'all, that was something, wasn't it? Okay, y'all remember murder hornets? So these murder hornets, do you have to send them a list of names or what? How does that work? And do y'all remember, I told Doug this today, do y'all remember we had a dust storm from the Sahara Desert, or however you say it, Sahara Desert? Remember that? I had totally forgotten. And then the other one was about, I saw something today when I was going back through pictures about the hurricanes. We had a really active hurricane season last year. I'm like, oh my word, we were bombarded, were we not? We were just bombarded. And here, that's the truth. Oh my goodness. And here's one that Betty White and Ashley, what's that actress that, what's the Judd daughter? Ashley Judd. Oh, duh. Gosh, I'm sorry. Hello. She says they're in jail and they're in oranges and they're behind bars, and Ashley Judd says, so what are you in for? And Betty White said, I got caught walking down the wrong aisle at the grocery store against the arrows. I'm sorry, we have to laugh, do we not? We just have to laugh. Hey, Noelle. I'm so glad y'all.
I'm sorry, just.
Doug is saying we've been having network problems. So what does that mean?
There may be that circle.
Oh, so if y'all are waiting and the circle little thing is going on, it'll come around sometime or another. So I guess with that, we ought to just sign off. If we're having network problems, you're probably not going to hear. Each one of you have had a marvelous Monday, and I hope your week is blessed. I hope that there is some joy in your life, and that you, and that if you are sick or you're hurt or you need anything, that you will let me know, and I will certainly continue to pray for you, especially, sweet Noelle, especially you, Catherine. I really am, I've really got you in my heart, and hoping that you heal quickly. So I love you guys very much. I hope you have a great week, and I will be back next week. I have no idea what I'm going to do next week. I don't even know for sure about what I'm doing tomorrow. So y'all have a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.